There is no new thought. When people hear that, it upsets their pride. You know, all thoughts before the foundation of the world, they were already have been. So when you tell somebody there's no new thought, they'll say, what about calculus? Or what about algebra? Or what about science and medical and all that stuff? It might be a new thought to man, but it's not a new thought to God. And usually, even with man, there's no new thought. Most stuff, if you break it down to its root, if you break reality down to its root, even calculus, math, science, medical, if you look at the medical, it's just oil and water and connections and splitting. And just because man discovers it doesn't mean it's new, right? Man's just discovering it. It's already been. The body was functioning before science, right? Although science has always been here, because the word science, I think it means to know. SCIENCE. It probably means to know. It's like psychology and psyop. It goes back to mind. So Adam named all the animals. He was a genius. There's no new thought. All I can tell you is there's no new thought. You might come up with some kind of program, some kind of new program, but it's based on ones and zeros. Or you might come up with quantum physics, but it's not. It's based on Jesus is quantum physics. Jesus is everywhere at all times. You think you got a new thought, you're believing a lie. You can learn from God stuff that's already been in the spirit and apply it down here, yeah. But there's no new thought. This is why when you pray for wisdom, with God, He will show you how to think outside the box. And when you start thinking outside the box, everybody else is like shocked. Have you noticed how houses, the remodeling, and people, when the price of stuff goes up, they come up with new ways to make things cheaper? Why didn't they do it before? The reason is they were forced to invent something. There's no new thought. It's new to you. It's new to me. But it's not new to God. All the doctors are doing are experiments to see how this works or how this chemical works. They don't really know. If you listen to them, they say, well, if you take vitamin B1, benfotiamine, if you take vitamin B1, it'll help people with neuropathy. But we can't prove it, but we do the studies. They do studies. They do studies because they don't know. They can only experiment. You can only experiment, people. And as you reveal, and the code reveals it all, really. The code, the medicine is, who names the medicine? Who names the people? Who names the objects? God is in control of the language, even now. He divided the language up in Genesis 10 or somewhere in there, and He's still in control of the language because Jesus is the Word. Everything's a type and shadow and has to point to Jesus. The devil just is an antichrist, right? Anti-type. And so the devil wants you to live in anti. He wants you to tattoo your body, and he wants you to see the body has the body has the creation code built into it, and the devil wants you to destroy the types and shadows on your body. That's why the Bible and Old Testament don't put markings on your body. You're not supposed to mark up your body because your body's already marked up with the truth. Everything points to Jesus. The body, the head points to Jesus. The body points to the body of Christ. It's all types and shadows. And when you follow, look, Moses built the pattern according to he built according to the pattern that was laid down from God. And he was 120 years old and did not lose his natural force, his natural abatement. So the force that he had at 120, you can attribute it to God's calling, but you can also attribute it that he was following the types and the shadows. You might say, well, what about heat and air? Is that new? No, they just watch the cycles of the earth, hot and cold. They put it in a compressor, and they put a metering device, and they put an evaporator and a condenser, and you could actually pull heat out of 0 degrees. They don't want you to know that because you would have free heat. They don't want you to live free. And part of it's because of sin. If you start to live the simple life, you get free. But when you're in sin and the world, the flesh, pride, life pulls you in, you become a slave and you believe the lies of the system. Once you get free from the lies of the system, everything else starts to fall into place. Your mind, your health, your emotions. Once you break the lies of the system, everything else starts to get free because the truth will set you free, right? Financially, mentally, psychologically, spiritually. It's free at every level. It's a fractal. You get free at every level once you understand the types and the shadows and the truths, the holographic truth.